So I'm doing this video, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm doing it. I don't like to make light or make the situation funny. I had a couple beers, I will admit, but I won't blame anything on the events of the past 2 days. I don't want to say I've had 2 beers because been so distraught. Let's be realistic, right? But in having those 2 beers, I kind of have come to a decision to make a video about a topic that relates to what this channel is about, this YouTube channel is about, and it has to do with homosexuality, and it has to do with terrorism. I don't think I even have to mention the event I'm talking about because I think it's just so obvious. In fact, I think the rest of this video is actually kind of already written itself in your head, because you know what the links might be. In fact, I'm pretty sure you know what the links are. So that being said, I've always shied away from talking about my personal experience when it comes to atheism. As most of you have noticed on this channel, it's usually this cold, disconnected sort of reading of analyses that I've come up with. But this time I hope it's not coming across as cold, because it doesn't feel cold. It feels like something I've been reminded of very deeply, in connection with the shootings in the United States in Orlando. So I just want to say, in case nobody has really understood this channel so far, I came to the conclusion of atheism, as much as atheism can be a conclusion, out of really taking a long, hard look at my life, especially the homosexual aspect of it. The one thing that I've really ever felt afraid of is basically coming out, and not now, obviously. I came out in, God knows, 98. That's how much it matters, really. But I think it was 1998 or something like that. I think my best friend might remember more than I would, which is kind of sad, but says something about my best friend as well, right? Yes, there is aside from the dates and the this and the that, there is a direct correlation between my homosexuality and my choosing to be an atheist. I think I've felt fear in coming out ever since puberty, because that's where these feelings start coming in. To be honest too, I've heard accounts of people coming out even earlier, you see it on the news all the time, even in grade 5, they come out really young these days, and in the whole mix of the sexual spectrum, right? So my beef was with the way I felt repressed out of mild religious influence, a very secular form of religiosity in Trinidad. I felt this pushing down of my sexuality, and it always, I remember telling myself things like, you always got to remember, you'll never ever tell anybody this, right? You keep it secret for the rest of your life, and it was the cause of a lot of oppression, a lot of, developmentally, I would say, I'm not developmentally retarded, but I would say that if you were to put a clinical term to it, I do feel a lot of resistance to myself because of this childhood memory of being religiously told that it was wrong. I don't blame anybody for it. I don't walk around bitter. God knows there's a lot of other crap to be bitter about, especially when you're 35. You don't really obsess over that crap. But I would say, again, to reiterate, if you haven't been watching this channel, that that's the reason I chose to become atheist, because for something so important, for an aspect of somebody's life that's so crucial in their development, and in their relationships with other human beings, having a religion sort of push it down, in subtle ways, even when it comes to my specific case, it's such a powerful thing to kind of just shove down because of a religious belief. So I just want to say I'm atheist because that, not that alone. I never want to confuse the channel or anything like that. You know, there are tons of other. I don't have some axe to grind. I don't. You know, I mean, there are tons of other atheists in the world. You know, that's my personal story. You know, but there's tons of examples in current affairs and in daily goings on where you see religion having some sort of unfair quota when it comes to the way people live their lives, whether they feel it oppressive or not. Because, you know, in a strange way, when I was trying to come out, or not trying to come out, when I was kind of saying to myself, yeah, you gotta keep this secret, it felt like the right thing. It honestly did feel like the right thing, even though there was something inside you kind of just fighting, trying to fight out of that, right? So, anyway, that's my video. I don't want to go on. It seems kind of, you know, short-stopped, but yeah, that's, I just want to say the shootings in Orlando were a horrible example. I don't know why everybody's saying it's terrorism and homophobia. Like, I mean, it's just terrorism. Like, it's, I mean, the terrorism, religious terrorism, would include homophobia, you'd think, by default. So I don't know why people are having to mention. I mean, maybe it's necessary, right? But if it's terrorism inspired by Islam, then it's just terrorism. You know, it is. So the homophobic aspect of it is actually, I would think, kind of default. Like, you know, but you know, it was in a way. I know how they might want to use specifically the word homophobic or hate crime or attack, because it's the first time where it's actually targeted to, you know, they say they're soft targets, right? But they're not. In this sense, maybe the targets were a little bit harder. But yeah. Anyway, that's my video. You know, it's kind of weird how I'm ending this crap, but like, I mean, that's what I wanted to say. It probably has something to do with the 2 beers I had too. But anyway, bye.